Hello, good evening and welcome back once again to everyone at home or wherever you may be. This is In the Know, brought to you by the Racing Post and Coral, and I am, as ever, Ross Brierley. I'll be hosting throughout the evening as we reach the end of day two with dramatic stuff, as you would expect in the feature races. State of Rest winning yet another Group 1, beating Bay Bridge, who doesn't get that first victory at the top level. Dramatised very much read the script in the Queen Mary, though, and Saffron Beach won sipping a pina colada in the Duke of Cambridge. And we had dramatic stuff as well, as Graham Rodway landed a very strong nap in the shape of Dark Shift in the Royal Hunt Cup, and elsewhere as well. We saw some good stuff from Little Big Bear landing a bit of a punt, and a big price winner in the last as well for Marco Botti and Neil Callan. So the storylines keep on coming at Royal Ascot, as you would expect, and we're not even halfway through. Thank you for joining us again. If you've been with us for the first two nights, if you haven't, where have you been? But better late than never. If you are watching at home, it is live and interactive, so get in touch on that chat and like and subscribe to the stream to feed the great algorithm. We'll be going through tomorrow's cards, of course, as well. We might be crowning a new Gold Cup hero. We had a dramatic Oaks. We might have a dramatic Ribblesdale as well. And we've had some impressive juveniles so far this week. And there's been a lot of money for Wildbank in the opener tomorrow. So there could be some interesting storylines to boot. And it gets hotter and the ground will continue to get faster as well. That rain that was supposed to be coming has moved towards Saturday afternoon now. 31 degrees, apparently the forecast for Friday. So it's going to continue to be very fast, very hot, and hopefully very exciting. Let's see who's on the team tonight. To my left, he was with us last night, was Mr. Robbie Wilders, and he's joined us once again.
Double
Robbie,
booked, yeah.
Yeah, you haven't even left the studio, as far as I'm aware.
I've had other stuff on, mate. It's a busy week for all of us.
Yeah.
Tough day today, punting-wise. Little Big Bear, the only winner. Obviously, quite a small price, but, I mean, you obviously stole the show today with your 50-1 win in the last, didn't you?
Yeah,
so
but I didn't mention it on the show, so don't...
Well, I knew you wouldn't because you're too modest, but I had to.
No, but I didn't mention it on the show last night.
Oh, last night?
So, yeah.
Well, you found it, didn't you? So.
I found it by clicking top speed figures at Ascot and going, oh, that's a bit overpriced.
Doesn't matter how you get to the conclusion, mate, if you get it right.
Yeah, I know, but no one at home, everyone at home is now like, oh, well, thanks, mate. Yeah, why didn't you do that last night rather than...
Maybe shouldn't have brought that up then.
Yeah, fair enough. And to be fair, Bashkarova being out the frame cost me an absolute
Yeah, you saying that, yeah.
fortune. That was...
Just didn't run any sort of race, did she?
That was painful. So you know, swings and roundabouts. But
Yeah.
you like the look at tomorrow?
Yeah, I do. Got a few strong fancies, but at the same, yesterday it didn't work out, so I think I'm due one. I think I had my best day punting ever on this card last year, actually, so we'll see if we can replicate it.
Yeah, I've heard that's exactly how it goes. You always have those things in your brain. You always think, oh, I had a good day in this day last year.
Nothing. Yeah.
It's got absolutely nothing to do
won't
with it, but it's nice to have a bit of sentimentality or superstition, if you prefer to put it that way. Fresh from a day at the races, Mr. Tom Segal is back at home, and Tom, you were out of the house, you're in amongst the throngs. How many autographs did you sign in total?
432, I think.
Right. Wow, that's a pretty good. Is that a new record?
No, well behind Cheltenham. Oh, that's about 4,322, Ross, of course.
Yeah. Do you pre-sign the photos or do you do them in person?
No, pre-signed, obviously.
Yeah.
Got them all in the corner over there, all pre-signed, yeah.
Lovely stuff. Well, welcome back, Tom. And we have David Stevens once again on the show as well, who was incredibly bullish at the start of the previews last night. Kind of half mocked you for it, David. Normally, because you're so modest with your selections, but you were right. You were bang on the money, dramatised, bolted up.
Yeah, I mean, that was as good as it... that was the nap dramatised, and that was good. I suppose Dark Shift, I was with Rodders in the Hunt Cup, but I was like you, Bashkarova was the really painful one. I mean, she was backed right in and really disappointed. Huge gamble on Legend of Dubai that went astray in the Hunt Cup. And the other one that went our way, obviously, was Bay Bridge. But punters struck back, say, dramatised. Eldar Alderhoff just getting home. That brought our beaten to a length into play. And, of course, the huge gamble of the day was Little Big Bear. I mean, that was one of those where I think the lads unloaded and Ryan Moore got the job done. So, again, a bit like day one, really. Honours even, I'd say, between punters and bookies on there. But I have to say, I was slightly mystified when Robbie started talking about a 50-1 winner you put up. I thought I must have switched off last night.
I didn't.
I mean, that's the worst after timing on somebody else's behalf ever.
I would like the record to show that I absolutely did not after time.
No, to your credit, you didn't. But
Yeah.
I've stitched him right up. I didn't mean to do that. But
you have.
I mean, I was on the show last night and you didn't say anything, so I don't know why I remembered it like that.
No, it's fine.
There we go. Still.
It was literally the selection that I put the least thought into was I was speaking to Graham Rodway after the Hunt Cup, and I said, you know what, first four home, all Ascot form, and then we had a mile handicap in the last, and I thought I'll just double check who has Ascot form, and Rising Star and Rosemary and Time pops up. So anyway. It doesn't matter because, like I said, it only won back what I'd lost earlier on in the afternoon, so it doesn't matter. But in terms of today's performances, Mr. Tom Segal, dramatised, obviously very impressive. We're getting some nice 2-year-olds by the looks of things. They've not necessarily been ultra competitive in terms of 3, 4, 5 horses on either side looking likely to win, but so far we've had 2 wide margin winners in Brierley and dramatised, and the front 2 in the Windsor Castle pulled miles clear as well.
Haven't seen the Windsor Castle. Can't help you on that one. I've been out all afternoon, but I wasn't that impressed with Brierley on the first day. I didn't think that was a great race, but I was really impressed with Dramatised today. I think she's really good. I also love second horse, My Land and Sea. Thought she did really well from where she was positioned. I thought that will work out like gangbusters to Queen Mary. Not convinced by the other one. I haven't seen the Windsor Castle yet, so I can't comment on that. But yes, the 2-year-old today I thought was brilliant.
Okay, lovely stuff. Right, let's get stuck into day 3 then of Royal Ascot. Like I said, we've got the chat box open here, so please do get those thoughts and feelings and selections in as we kick off with another juvenile race in the shape of the Norfolk Stakes, where Wildbank was about 4 or 5 to 1 earlier on in the week, but obviously some of the races have cut up with various entries, but 7 to 4 now. The market's been speaking volumes about a couple this week, and it's come off though. 3 to 1 the Antarctic, 13 to 2 Pillow Talk, 7 to 1 Brave Nation, 9 to 1 Bakil, 12 to 1 Crispy Cat, 18s is Thundermore, and 25 to 1 and Bigger the Rest. I'm going to come to you first for this one, Tom, because you are quite notably a fan of the juvenile races and Wildbank. I mean, that
way too short, Ross. Way too short.
Way too short. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Way too short. There's plenty in there that can give him a race. I mean, I thought the race he won at York last time was a bit of a Mickey Mouse race, to be honest. I didn't think the form mounted so much. Time was okay. The time of the Ascot win before was very good, but I think there's plenty in here that can give him a run for his money. I like Brave Nation, and I like him a lot. I think he's got a very, very good chance. Michael Bell won the race 2 years ago with Learjet. I think he's at least as good as him. He was really impressive at Doncaster. The figures aren't brilliant, but he pulled hard. He did everything wrong and still cleared away. The third horse has won since, and I just think Michael Bell's 2-year-old Mayland and See that I mentioned earlier, she ran an absolute blinder in the Queen Mary. I think he's got some really good 2-year-olds. He's got a very, very good record at Ascot with 2-year-olds. I think Brave Nation's a very good price at 7 to 1 against Wallbank.
Okay, Brave Nation then, yeah, 7 to 1. Yeah, again, I mean, it depends. It is how the market goes. I mean, like I said, Wallbank earlier on in the week was sort of 4 or 5 to 1-ish, and that Noble Style form's looking good, Robbie.
Looking good, yeah.
There is obviously in people's minds sometimes a concern that you win impressively at York. It doesn't necessarily back up at this track, but I mean, Brierley put that to bed a little bit. Yeah,
he did, yeah. I mean, I'd be all over Wallbank probably if it was more like sort of 7 to 2. He just looks plenty short enough now. I get what Tom's saying about Brave Nation with the Michael Bell form. He's got a really good record with his 2-year-olds there, but I just thought Bakil looked a bit too big. He's got course and distance form. He won the trial for this in really good style on fast ground on his debut. He's by Sioux Nation, who obviously won the race in 2017. Andrew Baldwin's juveniles, any you win first time out, always tend to be really smart. I mean, a lot of his juveniles end up losing first time out, but then go and win like a listed race next time. So I think this horse has got to be pretty good. There should be loads more to come. He's 9 to 1, so I think there's quite a lot to like in a competitive race. But I thought he was probably the value.
Okay, a couple against the favourite here. We should mention a few others. Obviously, Pillow Talk, given Danny Tudhope's excellent record, and of course the record of the Clipper Logistics horses. He's got a fantastic record. I think I'll put it down somewhere. I might have deleted it somewhere, but I think it was sort of 7 from 35. I think Tom, with Clipper Logistics horses in Class 1s for Danny Tudhope, the juveniles, and obviously they had dramatised. Pillow Talk would have run, of course, in the Queen Mary. Do you feel like Pillow Talk's here because they had the Queen Mary winner and they thought we want to run her, so we'll just go for the other one? Or what's the thinking there?
Well, exactly that. They knew Dramatise was better than her, so they could have gone for the Windsor Castle. But I think this has actually turned out to probably be a weaker race than the Windsor Castle, in my opinion. I think the Windsor Castle is suddenly, people think it's a weak race, and then it turns that it isn't. One thing I would say is Danny Tudhope definitely riding it. Earlier in the day, I haven't looked recently, but earlier in the day he was riding something else.
Yes, apologies. Yeah, it is. It's Kieran Schumacher in the saddle. Yeah, Danny Tudhope is on Thunder Moor.
Yep. Thunder Moor, which is interesting in itself because they're the same they're connected, the owners of Thunder Moor and Pillow Talk, Clipper Logistics. I think Thunder Moor they're the same under the same banner sort of thing. So the fact that he's gone for Thunder Moor is a bit of a tip in itself for that one, isn't it, against Pillow Talk, considering how that he rode Pillow Talk to win the Marygate last time. So yeah, a bit negative about Pillow Talk. I think this is a bit of a different kettle of fish than the race she won last time. Maybe the fact that Tudhope rides Thunder Moor makes him more interesting than seems likely at first glance.
Okay. Just one more to mention before we move on. And given the fact that the Wallbank is sort of 7-4, 15-8, and Royal Scotsman ran so well yesterday, why is Redemption Time 25-1, Tom?
Good question. No idea. I think Clive Cox's 2-year-olds, they always tend to run well at Ascot. I don't think he's had a few run badly so far, but he was not far behind Wallbank, was he, in the Ascot race? He's gone to Bath and won since. Yeah, no idea why he's set 25-1 and the other one's 7-4.
Okay, and on our chat at home, Crispy Cat for Off-World. Of course, that Sandown form last time out certainly wasn't let down, was it? And elsewhere, Luke Salmon's also with Crispy Cat. And apart from that, not too many opinions in the opener, to be fair. So far, everyone seems to be arguing about who tipped what in the first 2 days at Royal Ascot. So come on, guys, catch up. We've finished the first race here. The Norfolk Stakes, Wallbank 7-4. There must have been money piling in for this over the last 48 hours, David.
Yeah, a big mover, as we can all see there. I can understand he dotted up at York. I get what Tom's saying about the strength of that race, but he was in a different league that day. And it's that second at Ascot to Noble Star beforehand that's really the strong piece of form. He's got now to a price where I think it's just simply got to be taken on. I'm with Robbie on Bakil, course winner, good to firm ground that day as well. Okay, the form hasn't had a great deal done for it since then, but as Robbie said about Andrew Balding's 2-year-old, you'd expect them to improve quite a bit for that first run. The fact he was good enough to win first time up tells you he must be pretty decent. And I agree with a couple of the contributors down on the chat room now. Crispy Cat, a 12-1 shot. Ross Orion would have had the choice. But, you look at the prices, it's no surprise he's had to go for the favourite. But Crispy Cat's bit of form behind Blackbeard in Ireland. And then again, the National Stakes at Sandown looks pretty good. 12-1, nice each way.
OK, there we go. Norfolk Stakes then covered the opener tomorrow. Robbie Wilders. Bakil.
Yep, you?
Again, if it wasn't for the price, I do think Wildbank will win. But yeah, having looked at it the other day and thought 4-1, oh, OK, and then seeing a 7-4, don't go chasing that price, I'd say. But Tom,
Brave Nation, yeah, I think he'll win.
OK, Brave Nation, a 7-1 shot. David,
Bakil and Crispy Cat in a forecast.
OK, here we go. He's off again with the forecast. What was the forecast? Did you land one yesterday, or are you?
No, Maria Bramwell was third. He deserved to be second to dramatise. As good as it got.
Yeah.
Well done, Stevens.
Should have gone for the forecast without I can't even remember what very second now, but Mail and Sea, wasn't it?
Land and Sea.
Yeah, there you go. OK, that's the tomorrow then, the Norfolk Stakes. We're on to an absolute blinder of a race, aren't we here? The King George V Stakes, a handicap for 3-year-olds over at the mile and a half, and 19 of them going to post here, and this is an absolute peach of a contest. Post Impressionist, no surprise to see this one firm up at the top of the market, given what his conqueror Eldar Eldarov did this afternoon. 130 Post Impressionist. Secret State is 5-1. Newfoundland is 6-1. Israr is 13-2. Mandobi 10s. Yashin 12-1. Deauville Legend is 14s with Franz Strauss, and it is bigger prices the rest here. But 19 of them go to post again. Tough races, David. So extra places perchance.
Yes, 5 places each way in this one. Should, of course, say we're also best odds guaranteed from now on all these races tomorrow. So if you get a drifter, don't worry, you'll get the bigger price.
OK, Okay, very well. We'll come to you for this one, Robbie. But this is one of those races where I absolutely love 3-year-old handicaps because they're in that perfect pitch between. They've shown enough so you know how good they are, but they haven't completely shown their hand, so you potentially get on a decent price. And every single one of these horses has shown at least one piece of form in the past 12 months.
Yeah, it's an excellent race. There's probably a good 10 in there that are probably quite a bit better than their marks. Post Impressionist is obviously one that elder of form, but I don't really like backing horses 130 and 19 runner handicaps at Ascot when things can go wrong. I thought Flying Dolphin was interesting there. I just think Johnny Murtaugh's a really outstanding trainer. He obviously had his first winner here last year with Create Belief. This horse's maiden form was working out pretty well. Nearly beat Boundless Ocean on his debut. That horse is rated 103, almost won a listed race, ran the Guineas as well. He was beaten by Martinstown, who's a really high regarded Aidan O'Brien horse, but the fourth in that race, Velna, came out and won a maiden, bolted up since. He's on a handicap of 92. I thought he might be a bit higher than that, really. And there's bags of stamina in the dam side, the pedigree. He's not gone over further than 1 mile 2 yet. Over 1 mile 4, he's 16 to 1 with Coral. I think he can go well at a good price.
Yeah. Okay, Flying Dolphin then, who made all last time out. He was ridden with porpoise from the front. Might well win by a bottlenose tomorrow. Now, the favourite Post Impression is 130 here. Come to you, Tom. But round track, once we go over sort of 10 furlongs or further, we get the old wide draws out. And this is properly one of those races where you do not want to be down that inside rail.
Still reeling from those puns.
Reeling in an impressive way, right?
I was really impressed, Ross. Yeah, they were awesome. Listen, I'm not one to worry too much about draws, you know that, but I do hate round track races at Ascot with 20 runners because there is so much trouble, and it's gonna depend on which horse gets the run of the race. Post Impressionist for me is a terrible price simply because he looked a bit of a, he's going to appreciate the step up to 1.5 miles, but he took an age to get going last time, didn't he, behind Elder. He's definitely going to stay, but is he going to have the zip? I think you need a bit of zip to win these races round Ascot on fast ground. I'm not sure he's got it. I think you could make a case for loads of them in there. I thought it was the hardest. I know I said this on Monday when we did the Wolverton or whatever it's called, but I think this is harder. I think this is really, you could back anything in this. Seriously back anything in this and have some hope. I thought Schmilson had a chance. I thought Inverness was definitely interesting for Charlie Hills, who won the Hunt Cup today, didn't he? Back on fast ground at 1.5 miles. But it was way too hard for me. In the end, I thought I'd probably come down on Yashin for Jessica Harrington because he's definitely an improving horse. But Trap 4 on the inside, he's another one. I don't know. Way too hard. Can I hold my hands up and say pass? Because I wouldn't have a bet in this.
Sure, absolutely, yeah. You're allowed one, Tom. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Like I said, please gamble responsibly. Don't bet in every race. I really like it though. Mainly because I think, like I said, in these races you can just. I just hate to back anything in a single figure draw because it is often pretty painful. In this race, the inside 3 traps are 3 from 75. The widest stall on its own is 3 from 25. So it's just does pay to swing into the home straight wide. And I had a short list of 3, and they're all massive prices here, David. You might have to tell me what they are because they're not on the screen. One was Inverness, who I agree with Tom. I think came rattling home at Goodwood last year and beat a lot of nice horses. The other one was Balhammer Bar, who was a really strong finisher last time out at Chepstow in a race where they went too quick. And I also thought that Aknamara ran into a good horse last time out as well. And I think we're looking sort of 25s, all 3 of them at least.
First one, 28 to 1, Inverness. The second one, Balhamba, 25. And the last one, Aknamara, 33 to 1. So, yeah, 3 big prices.
There you go. I'll go for all these. Balhamba in particular I thought was interesting. Sir Michael Stout won this with Colony, Admiral, Beekeeper and Double Classic. And 3 of those 4 won their maidens at Bath, Ripon and Thirsk. So it's a proper go to a lower grade track, get a handicap mark. And other Sir Michael Stout Chepstow maiden winners, Allegretto, Ask, Desert Lord. I've done too much research on this one horse, if I'm honest. I've got carried away with Balhambar. This could go terribly, Robbie.
Could do, yeah. Good luck to you, though.
Golan.
Sorry?
Golan.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
You're bringing up a lot of old names that I've not heard of.
Won the Guineas.
Yeah, there you go. So Michael Stout at Chepstow, who knew? David Stevens, we've got Tom checking out. Robbie has quite a fancy. I've got carried away. Where are you in the scale?
Well, you've completely ruined my tip because I was going to Deauville Legend, but he's drawn in 3 I've just seen, which you've told me has got absolutely no chance. So, I mean, it's a big step up in class for him. He won a maiden at Windsor, but that was on good to firm ground, so he won't mind that. He was gelded after playing numbers of 2, and he's by Sea the Stars, which I love, so he should love this 1.5 miles. He was on my list, but stall 3 clearly prevents him winning. And the other one is the London Gold Cup winner, Isra, just because the London Gold Cup, I mean, its record speaks for itself, doesn't it? Should be more to come from him as well, out of Tagruda. So again, the 1.5 miles, hopefully, won't be too much of a problem for him stepping up in trip, and more to come from him. They'd be my 2 against the field, but stall 3, yeah, might as well forget that now.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, but again, David, don't let me put you off. Don't let me put you off, mate. It's happened before, and pretty much to your cost. Robbie, what did you make of this?
Flying Dolphin be my main selection.
Yeah, what's the danger?
Post-impressionist with a clear run. He's obviously really well handicapped off 89, but it's just the price which puts me off.
Okay, Tom, you're checking
Yeah,
out.
I'm checking out.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Okay, fair enough. I'll go for Inverness, Acknamara and Balhambar, all each way in a combination try-cast. Take after the David Stevens approach. No, let's not get too carried away. And David?
I'm going to stick with Deauville Legend and Isra, and I'm also making a note to back any horse Michael Stout runs at Chepstow in future.
Yeah, there you go. They'll probably go off back 1 to 3, the lot of them. But anyway. OK, the King George V Stakes then, the 305 at Ascot tomorrow. Moving on to the Ribblesdale, where we were hoping we'd see Emily Upjohn, of course, but she has been ruled out. But we might well see another quality horse in the shape of Sea Silk Road, who won nicely at Goodwood last time out and represents the William Haggas stable. 15-8 Sea Silk Road, but Magical Lagoon has been well supported, 2-1 second favourite. Life of Dreams is 5-1. Mukadamar is 6-1. History 15-2, and Mystic Wells 33-1 here. So a smallish field, 6 of them run for this Group 2 Fillies contest, and John Gosden doesn't run one here, Tom, which. Seeing as that he seems to win this race pretty much every year, you have to go back to 2015 to find the last time either him or Aidan O'Brien didn't win this. Are you going with history, or does another trainer get a crack?
No, definitely not going with history. I like this race. Unlike the last race, I thought this was a really interesting race because I thought Sea Silk Road was a bad price. She won, yes. She looked okay at Goodwood. It wasn't a great race. It was soft ground. I think she'll appreciate the step up in trip, but it was a bad time figure. I think she's taking a big step up in class. Of course she can win because she's trained by William Haggas. She's beautifully bred, all those sort of things. But I think she's priced up on that rather than her performance. So I wanted to take her on. I think Magical Lagoon is the most likely winner because she was just really unlucky not to beat Concert Hall last time. Concert Hall went on to finish third and fourth in 2 classics. She will definitely stay 1.5 miles. She'll stay it well, and I think she'll love the fast ground. So I think she's the most likely winner. But I'm going to back Mukadama for Roger Varian, who has a good record with these fillies. He won the Champions Day filly with Ashada. I think this horse is at least as good as her. She was highly touted when she won her maiden at Kempton. Then she went to Ascot over 1 mile. At the start of the season, she bumped into Grand Dame, which is, I think the form's quite good at that race. And then she's gone to Newbury next time, and she's finished third to Nashwa over 10 furlongs with Huey Morrison's horse that's come out and won a listed race easily since in second. But if you watch the way she finished the race, she is crying out for 1.5 miles. I think she's going to love the trip. I think when the prices were, at the start of the day, I think it was 9-4 Magical Lagoon and about 10-1 her. I was very, very keen on backing her at 10-1. I think I can see she's contracted now, but I do think she's got a very good chance. I think it's between the 2. I don't know. Well, obviously Sea Silk Road has a chance, but I think Magical Lagoon should be the favourite on form, and I think Mukadama's the danger.
Okay, there you go. Sea Silk Road then 15-8. Mukadama is 6-1, and like you said, again, round track, that one box might be a negative, Tom. But given who's on board and given how small the field is, she ain't going to be going down the rail, is she?
Yeah, it's only 6 runners. Well, if that's the case, then half of these can't win, Ross, can they? Because 1, 2, and 3 can't win.
Oh no, I'm just saying normally. Like I remember last year in the St James's Palace, Jim Crowley went down the rail and got stopped, obviously. And Ashada last year did the opposite. She came about 20 wide, didn't she?
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, I'm hoping that from 6 runners that there won't be any traffic problems. I think she might make the running actually, so that might take that out of the equation anyway.
Okay, Sea Silk Road then 15-8, but Muqaddam for Tom Segal taking on the front 2 in the market. Robbie, are you?
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah,
yeah. I've been all over Magical Lagoon for about 2 months.
Okay,
putting her up about 7 times, repeating myself a little bit, but I was really nervous when Emily Upjohn was going to be the car. I was really nervous because she would have had no chance against her. But yeah, I just feel like this filly's going to win. I mean, took really good juvenile last year, came a long way quite quickly. Really liked her return behind Concert Hall in the Southside Stakes. She just drifted from, she was about 3-1. She went off at 10-1 in the end, but nearly beat Concert Hall, who's come out and obviously finished 3rd in the Irish Guineas, 4th in the Oaks. That's a really good filly. Just showed a really good attitude there, really battled back. I think she's going to really relish this 1 mile 4 trip. All of her siblings as stayers. She's a sister to Royal Miyuni, that Gary Moore hurdler. Obviously got a lot more talent than that horse, but she's going to absolutely relish this trip. She's been laid out for it all season. Yeah, I think she'll win. I think Sea Silk Road is quite a bad favourite. I mean, I don't think that form really entitles her to be favourite. Magical Lagoon should be, for my money. She's
kind of got to be favourite on 2. 1, she's trained by William Haggas, and 2,
yeah, I mean,
obviously the Sunderland Holding Silks as well. They pick and choose and they breed really nice horses, but they all go off shortish prices.
They do, yeah. I mean, that's obviously why she is favourite for sure. I mean, Haggis has probably had the best season out of any trainer in Britain, but I'm not as sweet on that form. Anywhere near as sweet as that Irish form for Magical Lagoon, and I'd be disappointed she didn't win. Yeah,
and of course she comes out of the Fillies Mile last year, which has thrown up.
That's turned out in some race, isn't it?
Yeah. It really has. Okay, Magical Lagoon then. Robbie Wilders has been banging the drum for weeks about this one, so fingers crossed that goes in. But Muqaddam for Tom. The Ribblesdale Stakes, everyone very negative on the favourite, David, but 15-8, she remains at the head of the market.
Yes, slightly unfortunate that everyone's so negative because she is the subject of a price boost here. If you are sticking with she's favourite at the moment, I actually think Magical Lagoon will start favourite tomorrow, the way the market's going. But we're going 11-4 from that 15-8 for a maximum of 20 quid. And also, William Haggas, who's got Post-Impressionist as well as this filly and others, which have just said how good form he is in this year. He's 5-1 for a double tomorrow from 7-2. A couple of things to say. I do think Magical Lagoon will start favourite. The market momentum is with her. But I am with Tom on Muqaddam. Jim Crowley, of course, does his Coral blog. He's not worried by stall 1 in a small field. She comes here with a similar profile to Ashada, who was just beaten in this race last year. He's looking forward to riding her over this trip, and he's looking forward to her improving through the season, as I say, hopefully in the manner that Ashada did last year.
Okay, very well. And Sea Silk Road then 15-8 for 11-4 for that first price boost. 20 quid maximum bet for that one. So basically, everyone said the price boost is right though, David, because everyone said that Sea Silk Road's too short, and the price boost agrees.
Absolutely, yeah. The guys are obviously trying to lay this Sea Silk Road because there's been plenty of money for Magical Lagoon and indeed Muqaddam, who was a 10-1 shot this morning, now into 6-1.
Okay, and you're to blame for that, Tom. So you're picking the Ribblesdale?
Yeah, I like Robbie's style, getting the jumper in there. Magical Lagoon being related to Royam Uni, when he's actually related. The key horse he's related to is Novelist, who won the King George by 5 lengths. But I like your style, Robbie.
I was aware of that.
I'm of the same persuasion, I can assure you. So I think Magical Lagoon's going to be hard to beat. I agree, but I do think at the prices, Muqaddam has a chance.
Okay, so potentially Magical Lagoon could be at Ascot over 1.5 miles or Fontwell over 2.5 miles. Is that what we're saying?
That's it.
That's the potential
option.
No
middle ground, yes.
Yeah, no, exactly, yeah. Gary Moore or Sheena West perhaps will be watching, thinking, let's see what happens with Magical Lagoon. Sea Silk Road 15-8 at 11-4, as you can see on that price boost. At home, Jessica Harrington not quite firing yet, sends Vincent.
She had Cadillac, though, no?
Yeah.
Well, no, it's under Defoe's name, but come on.
The Pedro ran quite well as well today.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with that.
You don't know if you agree?
No, with that Harrington's not firing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought we finished sort of 7th or 8th in a big
I'm
field
not treading
race.
on your toes, don't worry.
Well, yeah, I thought it was a bit, you were bigging me up at the start, you're knocking me down now.
No, wouldn't. Dream of it.
Would you? No, you wouldn't. Fair enough. You're a good man. What else have we got here on the small field for the Ribblesdale? Jack Rabbit Slim, not too happy with that one. Magical Lagoon for Jim Frater. Magical Lagoon for Simon O'Neill. So plenty of people. Life of Dreams for Paul Ferguson at home. So that's the only one we haven't really mentioned. Quick word on Life of Dreams, Tom?
Yeah. Obviously, Charlie Appleby doesn't have. I mean, it's just fillies didn't run very well in the Oaks. I didn't think, did they? I'm not sure he's got that many good ones, but she's okay. She's unexposed, isn't she? Could go well for sure, but I just think Muqaddam's got better form, and I think Magical Lagoon and her are the ones.
Okay, very well. That's the Ribblesdale covered then for the 340 tomorrow. The big race of the day, of course, is the Ascot Gold Cup, 2.5 miles the distance, and the market is saying we could well see another Ballydoyle winner of this to join the likes of Yates and Order of St George and plenty of others. Kyprios is 13-8 favourite here to beat Stradivarius at 9-4, Trushan 11-2, Princess Zoe 7-1, Mojo Star is 12-1, Burning Victory 16s, Tashkent 25s, and Earl of the Cotswolds at 25-1. So obviously there are some notable names missing. Clearly Subjectivist being the main one, but he's still struggling with injuries. And obviously given the ground, we've got the constant Trushan dance to contend with.
But you have to back Trushan. You have to, because
and just get your money back if he doesn't run.
If he doesn't run, you get your money back. If he runs, he'll go off favourite, surely, won't he?
I mean, favourites are strong.
If they're happy to run, he'll be pressing Kyprios to be favourite for them.
Yeah. You think the market will go all over the place if he does get declared?
Big time. I can't believe he's 11-2.
Okay.
But I mean, well, they've still left him in. I just think that this is the sort of thing that might get clipped up and put on social, and people give me loads of stick, but I feel like too much is made about good to firm ground with certain horses. I mean, Princess Zoe, they said all year that she needs soft ground, blah, 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 and then she goes and runs her career best on good to firm in the Gold Cup last year. They're not making that mistake, am I missing out? I feel like probably too much is made. There'll be water in, it's so hot. Like, it's going to be safe. It's not like it's going to be firm at Bath, is it?
Yeah.
Like, it's not going to be concrete. So I think take the chance, because you might not get another one. And he's the form horse. I feel like that's a cracking bet, 11-2. He probably won't run again. But providing he doesn't run, I mean, Kyprios would be my selection. I mean, I've loved him for a long time. It looks like he's taken his form to a new level this season. That run at Leopardstown last time was spot on. I know he's not really beaten anything, but he just gives the impression that he's going to relish a real stamina test. So much stamina in the pedigree. I think he could be the dominant star for years to come. But if Trushan runs, like, he's probably going to win.
Okay, so you're in love with Kyprios.
I'm in love with both, but this sound like I was contradicting myself at the end. But Trushan has to be the bet.
At the price, yeah.
But until he doesn't run, then I'll probably back Kyprios. Because Kyprios isn't going to get much shorter than 13-8, is he? Even if Trushan doesn't run, I don't see that he gets that much shorter. Agree? Or?
Yeah, I do agree. I would just hate to be the person who has to interpret the slips that you pass over
I
the counter.
Right, the bet is Trushan.
Yeah.
If Trushan doesn't run, the bet is Kyprios, because I don't think he's going to get much shorter. But if Trushan does run, he gets a lot shorter.
Okay, very well. There we go. Kyprios is a 13-8 favourite here. Trushan is currently 11-2. We mentioned Princess Zoe, of course, as well. As Robbie said, 2 runs on good to firm at the track and a win and a second in this race last year. And of course, we've got Stradivarius as well, Mr. Segal, who kind of splits the room at the best of times. I mean, he's 8 years old. He keeps doing it, and the division will be poorer for his absence when he finally bows out. But he's 9-4. Can he regain his crown?
Of course he can. Yeah, of course he can. I think he might win. Actually, I think the conditions have come right for him. The Kyprios, I tipped him for the Derby last year. Anti-post, and he never made it after disappointing at Lingfield. The worry you got about him is he's come 3 times to Britain, finished last, or he finished, well, not last, but he finished tailed off in a 2-year-old race, and he was beaten miles in the Lingfield Derby trial, and then he burst out of the stalls in the Queen's Vase last year. So he has got a question mark against him temperamentally coming over to this country. I'm not sure I want to back him at third. I agree with Robbie. I think he's the class horse, and if he does put it all together, he'll win this, because I think he's got undoubted potential to be a champion stayer. But you do have that worry about him in this country. I think Strad's the solid one, actually. I really do, because I think the conditions are right for him. And if, last year everything went wrong, he still ran okay. Everything went wrong through the race. Frankie had a bit of a mare, if truth be told. I just can't see Trushan running. Princess Zoe, I don't think is as good as the other two. The interesting one, the only sneaky one, is Mojo Star, because 4-year-olds have a fantastic record in this race. Horses stepping up in trip that have been good horses in the past have a great record, and he was second in the Derby and the St. Leger. You don't get much better. He was one of the top 3-year-olds of last season. Don't forget, he split Adayar and Hurricane Lane in the Derby, and then was second to Hurricane Lane in the Leger, a long way clear of some really good horses. So if he did stay the trip, and I would imagine this has been the plan, given that I don't know whether they would have wanted a prep run for him or not, but he's a very, very good horse to be floating around at double-figure prices, in my opinion, and he's dangerous. But if Kyprios behaves himself, I think he'll win. If he doesn't behave himself, I think I can't see Trushan winning. I think Strad could win again. Yeah.
Okay. Mojo Star. Yeah. Apart from Stradivarius, of course, and the year when Big Orange won, when I think I had a look, the shortest price 4-year-old was 33-1 that year. So basically, if a 4-year-old turns up with good enough form, then they've got a cracking chance, haven't they?
Absolutely. Yeah. Because they're unexposed at the trip. I think racing generally is about finding unexposed horses, because they improve past the ones we already know. We know what Stradivarius can do. We know what Princess Zoe can do. We don't actually know what Kyprios and Mojo Star can do at this trip. And the fact that you've got 2 top-class trainers training them for this race suggests to me that they think they are going to love it. And if that's the case, they could be too good for the other ones. And so that's why we've got Kyprios at the top and Mojo Star being sort of touted by myself as a sneaky one against the two.
Okay, and we got a quick mention for the others, because it is the feature race of tomorrow, of course. Earl of the Cotswolds was a good winner for you. I remember. Was it? Oh, it might have been Simon Clare. Sorry, you both blend into one, David.
Well, as I'm here and he's not, let's claim it as one of mine.
Yeah, fair enough. He's obviously on a bit of a winning run. You've got Bubble Smart coming over, Tashcan and Burning Victory as well. There were plenty of people fancied it. Cheltenham and Punchestown. We're talking about Gary Moore hurdlers. We've got a Willie Mullins hurdler here. What do you make of the Gold Cup?
Yeah, Willie Mullins, of course, more than capable of winning this race. I think Kyprios is the most likely winner. He's got a similar profile to Order of St George, Fame and Glory, Yates, winning that Savile Beg and coming here. Obviously, it's a race, I say, Aidan knows exactly how to win, but he's priced accordingly. Stradivarius obviously isn't getting any better, but if he's as good as last couple of years, an 8-year-old on this ground, of course, he can win. Trushan, I still really can't understand why he's still in the race, unless Alan King and crew are going to break into Ascot tonight and turn the hoses on all night. Surely, there's absolutely no chance he's going to run, is there? I think Princess Zoe could give an each-way squeak too. She's proved that good to firm ground is no problem for her, obviously winning the Cigaro there earlier in the season. And as Tom has already pointed out, Mojo Star is just an interesting runner, but going second in 2 classics. I would love to know, and presumably Richard Hannon or somebody from Ammo is quoted in tomorrow's Racing Post, have they missed a prep run winning with him, or was this always the plan? But I say he's a fascinating runner, and at 12-1, yeah, I'd be willing to take a bit of a punt on him, but I think Kyprios is by far the most likely winner.
Yeah, he was beaten on his he was beaten a nose on his 2-year-old debut. He was beaten half a length on his 3-year-old debut. So they might just think he's a better horse fresh.
Yeah, as I say, I would just love to know if there have been any kind of issues that they hasn't had a prep with. But listen, if he comes here and runs any sort of race, you've got to say hats off to Richard Hannon and the team. It'd be a mighty training performance.
Okay, we've got a social comment on the screen as well from Rob Ferber. Strad is only ever getting beaten on soft ground. It's really that simple, says Rob Ferber. Yeah, and
his best run was on soft ground, no? When he won the Gold Cup by 15 lengths.
Yes.
From Naif Road.
Yeah, that is true.
So,
that's absolutely true. Yeah.
He's
just one of those horses that everyone tries to figure him out, tries to work out. Well, this might get him beat today. That might get him beat today.
Shouldn't have an 8-year-old winning a Gold Cup, but
he's not any old 8-year-old, though, is he?
No, he's not. He's got an ideal style of racing for this kind of contest. He's not for me. He never has been for me. But yeah, it'd be a nice story, wouldn't it? But yeah, I don't want to back him.
Okay. And we've had a couple of comments about the Gosden horses. Tom, is it one of those things that any time at a festival it doesn't quite go a big trainer's way for a couple of days and suddenly they're all out of nick?
Yeah, probably. I haven't. There could be something wrong with them. I doubt it. I think we'll probably find a few winners coming in, firing into the end of the week. I thought Mighty Ulysses ran very well, didn't he? So I wouldn't worry about too much about that.
Okay, very well. As for the ones at home, Alan Keane, be smart with Bubble Smart. It's a great brand slogan. We'll see if it pays off. Kyprios to beat Princess Zoe is the forecast, says Simon O'Neill. George Murray says Burning Victory will need them all to unseat. And Trushan doesn't run, mate, says Big Sob 1. So
It's still worth taking that 11-2 in case he does.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay.
For me.
But you still think Kyprios is the next staying superstar? Is that the headline?
Yeah. He just got shades of Subjectivist last year, hasn't he? His profile kind of, and I've always liked the horse. It's just that concern that he's not done it in Britain yet. You know, horses don't always act over here, but hopefully he's matured.
I'm getting slightly worried about you, Rob.
You
don't like Stradivarius, and you do like horses that burst out of stalls.
I mean, come on. You're the master contrarian, Tom. Surely game respects game.
I just don't. I mean, I get that you must have spent a lot of time trying to get Stradivarius beat, though, mustn't you? He's won a lot of racing.
Yeah, he does.
Absolutely. I tend to get it wrong, and I probably will tomorrow, but we'll have a bit of fun, won't we?
Yeah, an 8-year-old trying to get Stradivarius beat. He does have a history of violence, does Robbie. I don't think that's the first time I've used it, but it's my favourite. OK, the Ascot Gold Cup tomorrow then. Hopefully, Trushan will run. It's highly unlikely he will, of course. But we've still got the young boy versus the old favourite, the shape of Kyprios and Stradivarius. But you are with Robbie?
Trushan.
OK, fair enough. There we go. And Tom?
I don't. It's a tricky one. I'll watch the start and see what they're doing, but I think Kyprios will probably win. But I'd love Stradivarius to win. It'd be great.
Okay, last word to you, David.
Kyprios will win, and Ryan Moore, of course, on board. Rode a winner today. A Ryan Moore double tomorrow is 3-1 from 2-1.
Thank you very much. Carrying on then to the Britannia Stakes. What a race we've got here. 3-year-old handicap over the mile. 30 of them lining up. And we had an impressive winner of the Hunt Cup this afternoon. To be fair, Charlie Hills might win a couple of the handicaps tomorrow because Wanese is a fancied runner here, but he's not favourite. Joint favourites at the moment. King of Time and Who Put 50 in You, both at 5-1. Tranquil Night is 8-1 with the aforementioned Wanese. Saga's in at 10. Amor Tensure is 11-1. Koi Koi and Atrium at 12-1. We've got a few others in there as well. Yanarfis is 3 from 3 for William Haggis. Thesis keeps running into half-decent horses. Jimi Hendrix, of course, would have a bit of a squeak as well. Barley, Spin Around. Plenty of horses here progressing nicely and with leading claims. But the market's kind of got it right, Robbie, in the sense that the ones you expected at the top of the betting.
Yeah. And all of the top 7 in the betting are drawn kind of in similar positions as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
which normally in these races is the place to be, but it hasn't been so far.
No, exactly. It's so hard to predict, isn't it? But just purely from handicapping, I really like Yanafis. Sorry. Get my luck with all these names. He's got a very similar profile to Calusi, who won this a couple of years ago. He's never run on turf before. He's run on the all-weather and looks like he's just won a shade cosily every time. The handicapper can't bring him up too much for that. He's William Haggis' sole runner in the field. He's one of those improvers. There's loads more to come. He's off 92. I thought he was interesting. I thought the Wanese was also interesting. Come from last to first at Sandown in the Isha Cup. Looked a top prospect there. I mean, the fact that Shadwell retained an 84 rated handicapper sort of was probably a tip in itself before that Sandown race. And he's also been laid out for it. He's only £7 high. I think it'll go well. But just cases you make for so many. There's so many interesting ones. I'll throw in Saga as well for John and Fady Gosden. Form ties in with Maldoom, that desperately unlucky St James's Palace fourth the other day. Off level weights there, he was actually odds on favourite to beat Maldoom. I don't think he's right next time out. They've got the blinkers on first time, but if he wasn't right then and he was sort of like they're bringing him back for a potential winner for the Queen, I don't know. But there's just it's a minefield, frankly.
Okay, Saga then, Tong Tai and blinkers on for the first time. He reminds me a bit of Enemy, who plugged onto the frame for for Same Connections a couple of seasons ago. It might have been that Calusi race actually.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, so he could hit the frame, but the market has kind of got the ones right. King of Time's obviously been very impressive, and we were waxing lyrical about the Haydock Silver Bowl ahead of the big race yesterday. Tom, Mighty Ulysses certainly didn't let that form down, did he?
No, I thought it was a weird race. That's the Silver Bowl. I think who put 50 in you was the beneficiary of a massive pace meltdown, but he still won, and he's still good, and he still might. The questions he's got to answer is this is obviously a better race than that, I think, and it's and he's up £10, is he, or £8 or something for winning that race? The two of them are miles clear. He's clearly got a good chance. I wouldn't back him at 5-1, not on very fast ground. It's a totally different kettle of fish. Nor would I back King of Time, who looked good because he sort of got hampered and then came clear at Newmarket last time. I think he works with Caribus, so I think people are putting 2 and 2 together that he must be really good. I'm not sure. I like Wanese, as would be my first choice. I thought he was really impressive to win at Sandown. And then I thought I was being really clever and unearthing a sneaky one. I had 2 other ones. Atrium was one of them, who was about a 10-1 shot when I looked at it this morning, and he's 2 from 2 at the track and won very well here easily. And I thought, I won't go for him. I'll go for this 33-1 shot, Koi. And now they're the same price. Can I swap to Atrium? No, I can't. I'm still on Koi. I think they've both got very good chances. Koi ran at Chester the other day and was really unlucky. Stumbled at the start. He had a good draw, but he stumbled at the start and then forfeited that good draw and came right round the wide outside. Just failed to catch Outgate, who ran very well in that Silver Bowl, considering he raced much more prominently than the first 2, and then has come out and won at Chester very easily since. So I think Koi up only £3 has a good chance. Andrew Balding has a very good record in these sort of races with 3-year-old handicaps. He won the one at Epsom on Derby Day, if you remember rightly. Atrium also has a good chance because he's the perfect type for the race. He's going to be sat out the back and come through. This will have been his target. Charlie Fellows has won the Phillies race, the Sandringham, a couple of times. I think this would have been the target. Whether he's gone up too much in the weights is possible. What the 2 I liked was Wanese and Koi.
Okay, lovely stuff. Wanese then and Koi. Yeah, Wanese. Like I said, yeah. I mean, we mentioned Charlie Hills in the last race. He's got Inverness. He's got Wanese. He's got a chance in the handicap later on. Clearly, the horses are running very well indeed. They've all been quite well backed. I was struggling to find anything at a price that I thought was wrong, really. Everything I looked at, I thought, oh, okay, that's up there. I guess the only one I thought could slightly outrun its odds potentially was O Herbert's Reign, because he keeps running in these good handicaps, and he keeps finishing in and around the principals. He's a big price, but yeah, all the sexy horses, David, at the short prices, and we might see a group horse in time come out of this, or we might be looking back at the form in a couple of years and trying to work out what they've renamed them as the racing over in Hong Kong. That tends to be the way they go in the Britannia.
Yeah, Herbert Reigns is a 50-1 shot, so big price, that one there. I'm probably worryingly for Tom, agree with him on a couple of those. Wanese, again, another Jim Crowley ride. Jim said this has always been the plan since Sandown. He's won at Ascot on good to firm ground. He ticks a lot of boxes. Atrium, I like, again, it's that course form. Again, expect to see him held up, as Tom has said. The other thing I thought was interesting was Amortentia, or whatever we're saying. The Joseph O'Brien horse won well at Naas, first time in a handicap, and I think there'd be more to come from that one. Of course, Joseph on the score sheet today. So 3 against the field, but Wanese would be the strongest of them.
Okay, Wanese then an 8-1 shot here. Anything else to mention, Robbie?
No, they're my 3, Wanese, Saga and Yanafis, and I'm going to stick with Yanafis, who's 16s, and I think that's quite a big price.
Okay. Very well. At home, people plenty of options, obviously, between Tranquil Night and King of Time for me. So David Moffat going with the Godolphin angle for that. Elsewhere, Yanafis and Lawful Command for Pompey Blue. Yeah, Lawful Command keeps on winning, doesn't he? Stevens 99, Bolt Hole, Strong Traveller, dropping in Trip for a yard who won this. Oh, what was that Jamie Osborne horse that absolutely bolted up in this a few years ago? Oh, I can't really remember, but the owner has won with a similar type in the past. And Aidan Kelly says a treble for the Queen, 225-1. There you go. What more do you want? So Saga's in with a chance. And I'll tentatively go. Sorry, what was that?
What? You missed a very good pun chance on Jimi Hendrix. I thought he had a chance.
Yeah.
I thought, you know, I'm a big pedigree man, and he's by New Bay, and I think New Bay is going to be the superstar sire of the future. He's Saffron Beach, he's Baybridge, he's Bayside Boy. They've all won really well at Ascot this week. He just snuck in at the bottom for Rafe Beckett. I wouldn't be surprised if he ran well. That's a big price. He would be the funny one for me.
Yeah, okay, it'd be quite an experience if he did win, wouldn't it? But you're right, yeah.
I knew it coming. I knew it.
Yeah, sorry, Tom. I was in a bit of a purple haze, I think, when we were talking about it. But the Britannia Stakes, Robbie Wilders, you go for Yanafis?
Yanafis, yeah.
Yanafis it is. Tom?
I have backed Koi and Wanese.
Okay, very well. David?
David Moffat there, who contributed and liked the Godolphin pair. He might like our special, 11-4 from 9-4 that Godolphin win this Britannia. But Wanese and a little each way on Atrium as well.
Okay, lovely stuff. That's the Britannia covered then. Share it again, it's another price thing, but who put 50 in you in my head? I thought that is a Britannia horse, but fine, joint favourite, maybe a little bit skinny in such a big race. 2 more races to go then on day 3 of Royal Ascot. We've got more 3-year-old action here, and our commentator mentioned that we might get a good day for the Queen. Of course, people wanting that headline, Reach for the Moon is going to be a short price favourite for the Hampton Court Stakes. He's 1-2 for John and Thady Gosden and Frankie Dettori, and of course Her Majesty. Claymore 13-2, Maxud 7-1, Cresta 9-1, Houth 16-1, King Max the outsider of the lot at 28-1. And well, the headlines are there to be written. Reach for the Moon bolts up in the Hampton Court, and everyone is happy again. Tom, isn't that the headline?
Well, I don't know if everyone will be happy, but I'll be happy if Reach for the Moon wins. 2-1 on is about. I don't know. I thought he was really impressive at Sandown. I know he got beat by My Prospero. I thought he went too hard, and he was clearly a race to get him ready for this. It looks a weak race. Got a couple of my friend New Bays in there against him, Claymore and Cresta, who will be snapping away at him because I think they'll. I mean, Claymore might not like the ground, so might not run. But I think it's all about Reach for the Moon. I just think he'll win. I was really impressed with him at Sandown. I think the step up and trip will be fine, and. Yeah, it looks a weak race and he'll win.
Okay, Reach for the Moon then is a 1-2 shot. Again, My Prospero certainly didn't let the form down in Group 1 company this week. He is skinny enough, admittedly,
yeah, he's
Robbie.
a little bit short now. I mean, he was more like 4-6 when I last checked. 1-2 would be, it's not really a backable price, is it? But yeah, he's going to be very hard to beat. This is a much weaker race than we're used to, actually. Excellent comeback run over a trip that's probably going to prove inadequate over a mile in the Heron Stakes. Best of these at 2. Can make his own running as well. There shouldn't be a problem with sort of like not enough pace in the race. I just think he wins. I think Claymore will probably follow him home, and that's what the market suggests as well. You know, if you take out his run in the French Guineas, where he drifted, he was about second favourite anti-post, and he went off 18-1 and finished last in the end. Went off way too quick. Something went wrong there, obviously. But his previous run behind Native Trail was really good form. Before that, he actually beat My Prospero in his maiden. I think there's a good horse in there, but he needs to bounce back. I think he'd be shorter if it wasn't for the French Guineas run, but yeah, Reach for the Moon, I think it'll be impossible to beat, frankly.
Okay, Reach for the Moon is a 1-2 shot. Yeah, got to try and get it. I mean, we all sat here and said Baybridge was impossible to beat last night, though. A little bit of a different prospect, of course, here, but 1-2 Reach for the Moon. Again, I thought Cresta had a chance. I like what you mean about the New Bay angle. I think this track should absolutely suit him down to the ground for the Mead team, who of course went very close this afternoon, about as close as you can possibly get without winning. And I'm not saying he's going to win. He needs to improve, but. I thought King Max ran quite well last time out at York, and I thought he's got more ability than his price suggests, Tom. But I'm scrabbling around, I guess, for hope.
Well, I'd just be slightly worried about him staying the trip. He didn't quite look to get home, I didn't think, in the Dante. Obviously, the Dante form with Desert Crown is looking very good, but I didn't think he quite got the trip. I think Frankie will just keep it incredibly simple. He'll bounce out, he'll make the running, and I think he'll probably win Reach for the Moon.
Okay.
I think with you, I think Cresta might be the danger.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit more motor coming. You can kind of make excuses for all of his defeats so far, albeit when you start doing that with horses like this, it can become expensive. But Reach for the Moon, David Stevens. Will you be throwing your top hat in the air if this wins, or will it be in all the multiples, and that might cause a bit of a problem?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why he's shortened to he's gone through the odds today, 4 to 6, 8 to 13, now 1 to 2, and he'd be in lots of doubles, particularly, or lots of Frankie Dettori multiples tomorrow, I should say, particularly with Stradivarius in the Gold Cup. It's hard to see him getting beaten. It would probably be a bit of a damp squib if he does get beat, particularly if Her Majesty attends. But, we're here to try and get him beat, and I've looked through it, and much like you guys, it's very hard to see actually who's going to beat him. I mean, Houth, Braden O'Brien, first-time cheek pieces, up in trip. Aidan's got a pretty good record in this. Won it a couple of times in recent years, but has only won once of his 9. Doesn't look good enough. So maybe it's just a question of how far Reach for the Moon will win by. And on that note, we have another special. So Reach for the Moon to win this Hampton Court by over 2 lengths was 2 to 1, now 5 to 2. That may be the way to go.
Okay, Reach for the Moon to win by over 2 lengths, 5 to 2 then. Hopefully he reads the script, unlike Baid, of course, earlier in the week. But the Hampton Courts, Robbie?
It's Reach for the Moon, but it's not a bet.
Okay, very well. Tom?
Yeah, Reach for the Moon.
Okay, I'll go with Cresta, either forecast or without the favourites. And David?
I Reach for the Moon. I think it'll be disappointing otherwise.
Okay, very well. Final race on the day is the resurgent Buckingham Palace Stakes. Of course, had a holiday for a few years, but has been back with a bang for the last couple of seasons. And since it returned, 4-year-olds have been dominating again. We've got unexposed 4-year-olds dominating the market. Montasib is 9 to 2, Silent Film 8 to 1, Vafortino is 10 to 1, Tactical 12s with Tan Maui, 14 to 1 Inver Park, and Chief of Chiefs 16 to 1 Star of Orion, and bigger prices the rest. Plenty, like I said, even at bigger prices, who might bring a bit of decent course form into it, the likes of Dance Fever and maybe River Nymph. And there are some horses in here who've run well at the track. We were mentioning earlier, right at the start when you dobbed me in it, Robbie, that course form is so important in these races, which is something
It is.
that the favourite doesn't have.
No, the favourite doesn't have that, but deeply interesting profile. Could still be miles ahead of that mark. The horse I like doesn't actually have any course form either, but I thought Al Ruffa for John and Fady Gosling was quite big at 18s. He's back down. He's always been a talented horse, but he's only really shown it on decent ground. The only times he's flopped has been on heavy and soft ground, but he's getting fast ground again. Wasn't a bad return by any stretch on the all-weather in March. I just feel like he's on quite an interesting reign now of 99. I mean, he wasn't far off group class a couple of years ago, and John and Fady have obviously kept him, retained him. He's had a lot of time off for quite a while, but I thought he was interesting. Yeah. But I mean, it's quite speculative, frankly. I found this race so difficult to assess, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, 7 furlong Ascot handicaps. There's 10 of them every season, and they're all as difficult as each other.
Yeah, it's great. It's not maximum stake stuff, is it?
No, not at all. Montasib, they're 9 to 2 favourites here. Al Rufar could be overpriced for the Gosling team, and Rab Havlin. We've got a social comment at home. Devo, hardest race of the week. Chief of Chiefs and Star of Orion against the field again. Both course horses here. Tom, are you going with the newcomers to the track, or are you following the Ascot angle in Ascot handicaps as well?
Devo's got one of them. I like Star of Orion. I think he'll run really well. I think he was unlucky not to beat, was it Britannia in the international handicap here? I think the key to him is very fast ground. Thought he ran perfectly well in the Victoria Cup on his comeback run. I think this will have been the plan for him. He's drawn in the middle. I think he'll run really well. But I don't think you can bet really without having a little saver on Montasib. I think 5 to 1 or whatever it was, or 11 to 2 was perfectly reasonable. He could be just a class above these. By Exceed and Excel, whose horses have a very good record at Ascot as well. So I think the fast ground will suit him. The thing is, he's in stall 1, but I just think they'll come up the middle. I haven't spotted a massive draw advantage anywhere. I think I'd back him as well as Star of Orion. There's loads you can fancy him. A new beige theory is there with Vafortino, who was obviously very impressive in the Victoria Cup himself. I thought 3 at massive prices were Fastnet Crown, the Irish horse trained by Michael O'Callaghan, who was 5th in the Cambridgeshire last year. Second home on his side. I think this script suits him better. Mum's Tipple, I thought, was a weird one. He ran very well in the Victoria Cup.
He really did. I mean, he was completely drawn out of it, wasn't he, Tom?
Yeah. As was Star of Orion, to be fair. Star of Orion was drawn in 3 as well, or 6. There were all those ones drawn low had no chance. But Mum's Tipple. The only thing I'd say it's Alec Volkonski or whatever his name is I don't know him at all, but it's a tough race to sort of make your break your duck on in a Buckingham Palace. But I did think he'd come well. Chief for Chiefs was the other one, and the other one at a huge price was Spirit of Light for Ian Williams, number 10, who ran at Chester last time against Boardman and Mykonos St John. Mykonos and St John and Bournemouth were drawn 1 and 2. He was drawn right on the outside, and he stayed on really nicely to be third. He was ahead of some horses. I think it was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 were the first 5 of the first 6, and he was the outlier who came third. So I just wondered whether he might run well for Ian Williams, who has a very good record at Ascot and in these sort of races. So Spirit of Light at a big price, but the two I actually ended up on were Star of Orion and the favourite Montasib.
Okay, Star of Orion and Montasib then. What about you, David? Anything for you? Extra places, price boost? What do you got?
Yeah, 6 places in this finale. Just to go through those that Tom mentioned: Fastnet, whichever one it was, Crown 18 to 1. Mum's Tipple 66 to 1, and the Ian Williams horse is 33 to 1 shot. I'm sticking with Ascot form for Vaffortino, won the Victoria Cup, and I also like Star of Orion, who was having a bit of a pipe opener, I think, in that Victoria Cup, and should come on a bundle for that for Rafe Beckett.
Okay. A few 4-year-olds who run well at the track I thought were interesting. Star of Orion was a big eye catcher, I agree with Tom. I don't think Uda Lally ran as badly as it looked like he did behind Rohan in Group 3 company. I think he'd have a squeak in. A little bit of a word for Inver Park as well, who's stepping up in trip, but has really improved for New Connections and did win his only start here. So a few unexposed 4-year-olds with course form in the finale. But Robbie Wilders, what will you be?
Al Ruffer, but
10p each way?
Speculative.
Yes.
No, I don't play those sort of stakes, mate. But
no. Fair enough. Well, we're not supposed to. It's more.
No, sorry,
it's a symbolic
that
kind
wasn't
of.
very responsible.
No.
It's slightly more than that, but
Okay.
it's not one to get steam.
No, it's more a symbolic. It's a
yeah,
symbolic,
yeah. Like a lesser stake.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, let's go for that.
Okay, there we go. 0.1 of a point. Tom Segal?
Yeah, Star of Orion, I think, would be my main bet, but I will save on Montasib at the top there, the favourite.
Okay, very well. David Stevens?
Star of Orion with the saver on Vaffortino.
Okay, and by this point, maybe Uda Lally, Star of Orion, and Inver Park for the course form 4-year-olds. That brings day 3 to an end then of Royal Ascot. But we can't leave you, of course, without telling you what we fancy on the third day in terms of naps. Now, I'll come to you at home first. Tom Segal, what is the nap of the day for day 3?
I like Brave Nation in the opener. I thought he'll run really well. I think he's got a chance of beating Wallbank.
Okay, Brave Nation then in the Norfolk Stakes. Robbie?
Magical Lagoon, Ribblesdale, 340.
There you go, Magical Lagoon.
Yes, please.
He's very confident about that.
You don't normally see me this confident, do you? I'm normally a bit more sat on the
I'm
fence.
going to have to get from that one.
This one's been brewing for a while.
The anti-postman.
This is an anti-post selection at 16, so
There you go.
so there's no need to mention that, is there? I need it.
You can't resist. And David, anything you've backed at 8 times the price or whatever it is?
No, I'm going to go for one of the specials. Reach for the Moon to win the Hampton Court by over 2 lengths, 5 to 2.
Okay, very well. And I guess given I've got to go for Balhambar, haven't I? Sir Michael Stout, drawn widest of all, Chepstow maiden winner in the King George V, the race that nobody likes. That's the way we do it. Okay, that brings to an end in the note for another night. 2 more to go, of course. We're back tomorrow and on Friday night as well. Same time, same place. And we hope you have a good day on day 3. Thank you to Robbie. Thank you to Tom. Thank you to David. We will see you back tomorrow. Please enjoy the racing and a very good night from us.